Welcome back to Defensive Back University, the YouTube playlist from Pick 6 Athletics, where you learn everything you need to know about playing defensive back. So in this video, we're going to go over how to weave and keep your leverage while covering receivers. Football is like a game of chess. There's a lot of different strategic moves that comes into play, and lots of times receivers will take a stem one way or the other way and try to get open from that. So what you got to do as a DB is weave, shuffle to stay with him on your right leverage, to keep covering him and to not let him catch the ball. So this video is going to go over the major tips, how to weave and how to keep your leverage while covering receivers. So the first thing you got to know is to get into your proper defensive back stance. So you have your feet about shoulder width apart and have one slightly behind the other. Have about midway through the other foot. And you get low, touch your ground, make sure you're real low so you stay low the entire time. Defensive back, one of the biggest things you can do is stay low, because the lower you are, the faster you could move, change directions, and get out of your break. Always remember to keep your arms moving as well. Now, what makes a weave different from just a normal pedal backwards is that you're going to be going laterally or horizontal and laterally. So what you want to do is get pretty much a heel to toe push in one direction or the other. And where the power comes from is from that front foot. So if I'm pushing this way, this foot's pushing off to get power to move that way. So it's going to look like that. That's all it is. So push off this foot, heel to toe, just like that. I'll go the other way. Another tip, stay on the balls of your feet. You're a lot more explosive when you're on the balls of your feet, and if you have to switch directions or end up braking, it'll be a lot faster than if you're on your heels. Next tip is to keep your feet pointed forwards and your shoulders square. You want your feet pointed forwards because when it's time to open up, you have to get the front foot, get that toe in, and then end up opening up. If your feet are out too wide, it'll just be a sloppy open. You end up taking extra steps. Also, with the feet forwards, it's easier for when, if he stems you one way, if he stems you the other way, it's just easier to switch your weave and keep maintaining leverage. Now the next thing you need to know is what type of coverage you're playing. Of course, if you're doing this, you're probably man, but are you playing off man, where you'll take a much more vertical angle? Or are you playing catch man, where you're going to make contact with the receiver? Because then you can just take a nice lateral shuffle, get hands on, fit up with him. So now two things you never want to do. Number one is cross over your feet. Because if you're weaving and you end up crossing over your feet, imagine he breaks on an in. You're just in a terrible position, getting your feet tangled up, and that's where lots of guys end up falling over. Or you just have to take 3 steps out of it, fix your feet, and he's open, gets a ball, gets a touchdown. And you look like a fool. Number two thing you can't do is start opening your hips. Because if you're weaving, it's a proper weave. If you start opening your hips, that gives an invitation for the receiver to break up his route right away. And if he sees that on film, he's going to just keep doing it to you, keep doing it to you. If a receiver notices, say he gives an outside stem, if he goes like this, you start opening your hips to the outside, that's right when he's going to break it in and get open. So those are the main points, how to weave. Again, make sure you start in a nice low athletic stance on the balls of your feet, keep your arms moving, great to switch different ways, toes pointed forwards so it's easier to open up. Don't cross over your feet at all, just go heel to toe, and don't start to open your hips, stay square, you can play with the receiver, and just break out a lot faster. Then remember to push off that front foot to start moving in the direction you want to go, and know the angle you got to go at. Is it an off coverage so you go vertical, or is it more of a catch man so you just stay with him and get hands on? So that's it for this video on how you're actually supposed to weave, top tips with it to maintain your leverage. Make sure to follow the playlist, follow the account Pick 6 Athletics, because our very next Defensive Back University or DBU post is going to break down when to do different types of weaves. One, what we talk about today is staying square and shuffling, but in some situations, if you're a deep player or sometimes at corner, you want to just turn your butt and start using your eyes more to help you make more plays. So stay posted, keep learning, make sure to share this video with your teammates so you can all get better, win more games together, and win some championships. And if you haven't yet already, check out Pick 6 Athletics on Instagram for a lot more workouts, mentality videos, DB drills, film breakdowns, everything you need to take your game to the next level. Special thanks to Langley, our camera guy today, for filming.